it's normally the kind of thing you're gone 2 or 3 days and then you're back. So we didn't really think beyond just those two things, just canceling church, making sure we communicate people the church was canceled, and making sure that people that needed help getting out of the city could get out. Email usually is how we get it out. Where I live, I'm half a block from a levee. You know, I live right off the Mississippi River. Now, in that day or two after the storm, I'm like, okay, I think my house is okay. I think I didn't flood, but everything is so much hearsay, you're not really sure. You know, like I said, the media was helpful, but not that helpful, you know. One cool thing was a lot of the local TV and radio stations were able to use the internet to be able to get information that was more specific, more local than CNN. So families had a ton of questions, you know, needed information, needed help. So we're trying to figure out how do we help people, and so we have a church website, but nobody on our staff at that time was really all that web savvy. The only way we knew how to edit it was on site at our church. We had this idea of creating a blog because we knew that was something we could create where we were at. We would be able to edit real easy. We're already familiar with the interface. And the only issue was how do we let people know this blog is there. So we figured out how to just edit the church website enough to be able to put a link at the top of the front page that just said, you know, if you're a Berean member and you want information after Katrina, click here, and it sent people to this blog. The only way we knew to try to make it so people would be able to communicate back and forth was through comments, and I wasn't even sure how many people would even know how to even use that. One family, the husband repairs elevators, which doesn't sound like an important job post Katrina, but he had to sleep in a hospital because they knew his whole family evacuated. He had to stay back because the idea was that if the elevators go out, they can't use the hospital, so they want an elevator repairman to stay on standby. So, like, he was able to go in and see his house, but not very many people in his area were able to see their home, so he could kind of share information. So it was kind of those things. Well, I have a friend who was able to go into this area, and if you live in this area, this is what's going on here. Or it was information about where you were evacuated to. Oh, you're in this city? Well, I'm in that city too. Let's meet up for lunch, and we can share information. First thing you did was you had all these people who used to be part of our church that are like thinking about New Orleans, and so trying to find information, and they're thinking about the people they knew and the people they knew they went to church with. So they're go to our church website, find the blog, and end up communicating because they care about people, and also because they want to figure out how to help. It's just a guy who watched all this on TV and wanted to do something, and so he got on the internet and he found our website and he saw my cell phone number, and so he just called it. And so he ended up getting his 5th and 6th graders to do a bake sale. And they did it 2 weekends in a row, and they raised like $2,500. It was just insane. It was insane. So yeah, I mean, the blog was huge. I mean, it was huge for us to be able to, like I said, to communicate with other people in our body, right. But also kind of unintentionally, it also was this huge way for us to communicate with all these people around the country that wanted to find a way to help. If you want to have an area that would be the sin area, it's the area that didn't flood, you know? And if you want to have the area that did flood, that's where like the nice middle class, lower class, upper class, where everybody lives, you know, the families. So it's like if God was judging New Orleans and God missed, you know, like he was like, dang it. But we really believe, I mean, you know, it's impossible to really know God's intentions. I mean, I definitely think that God is in control, and God allows and even causes tragedy to happen on our planet, you know. And so I think God wanted Katrina to hit New Orleans for some reason, but I think that reason maybe has more to do with allowing people around the country an opportunity to wake up to our own city, our own country, and the needs in our own country. And I mean, one of the things that we've been able to see as a church is we've seen churches around the country come down to New Orleans help people, and then fall in love with helping people, and go back home and do the same thing at home. So